Kelsey. This is my channel, The Fancy Hat Lady Reads. I am wearing a fancy booktube hat, and today I am doing a book haul. I know I am still behind on my wrap-ups and reviews. I am aware of that. I would like to get more book reviews posted for books that I read in May before I do the second part of my May wrap-up. That will just make that wrap-up easier for me if those reviews are already posted, but there are a lot of books that I read in May that I mean to review that I haven't gotten around to reviewing yet. So some of those reviews are still in progress. The next video you see from me will probably be another double book review. If you're celebrating the holiday in America today, happy 4th. I know many of us, myself included, are having some mixed feelings about expressing patriotism on this holiday. I myself find I'm feeling better about it than I was last year, in part because just this past weekend I was able to participate in a large protest march that happened here in New York. We marched across the Brooklyn Bridge. It was a beautiful day, and I felt such a sense of positive patriotic community from participating in that march. It was very cathartic. I had never actually walked across the Brooklyn Bridge before. It's, you know, an American landmark. You can see the Statue of Liberty from there. And it was a good reminder to me that patriotism often manifests as dissent. So this 4th of July, I'm taking the day to celebrate patriotic dissent. And so that is the attitude that I'm taking. I'm also enjoying having a relaxing day to get some reading done and write book reviews and film booktube and that sort of thing. So this is my June book haul. I got 2 different batches of books in June. The first is a batch of $1 used books that I got all in one place, and the next is a book outlet order. They were having their summer reading sale. Everything was some percent off, like 15%, and as I usually do when I make a book outlet order, I filled up my cart to be just about exactly $35 because that's the point when you get free shipping. Depending on the price of the books you're getting, a $35 book outlet order can be smaller or larger. This is a larger one. I got a number of very good deals. Several of these books were scratch and dent copies, and I was able to pick up multiple books in several different series. But first I'm going to start with those used $1 books. First I have here 3 that go together. These are books 1, 2, and 4 in the Immortals quartet by Tamora Pierce, which is the second series in publication order in the Tortall series. I have just started reading the Song of the Lioness quartet. I hope to finish the Song of the Lioness quartet by the end of this calendar year, and then hopefully I will want to continue on to the Immortals series. So the first book is Wild Magic, the second is Wolfe Speaker, and the 4th is The Realm of the Gods. I'm still looking out for book number 3, just as I'm still looking out for book number 4 of the Song of the Lioness quartet. So I'm still missing some books, but I'm generally acquiring the series in the right order. Next, I have The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, which I have not read, and it's a travesty. I feel like this requires no explanation. I have no idea when I'll get around to reading this. I've owned copies of the Dirk Gently books for longer, so I'll probably try to read them first, even though they're less famous. But yes, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, first book in the series. Next, I have this lovely, lovely surprise. This is called Once Upon a Time, She Said, and it is a collection of stories, poems, and maybe some non-fiction stuff by Jane Yolen, and I think this is specifically a collection focused on her fairy tale-centric writing. I have 2 of her story collections on ebook, and there might be some overlap between what's in here and what's in there, but this seems like a really good collection for me to have in print. This is published by Nespa Press, and it's very pretty and shiny silver under the dust jacket. It's a very, very nice looking book, and I think it will be a great collection for me to have. And then finally I have Vassa in the Night, or Vassa in the Night by Sarah Porter. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but this is a young adult fairy tale retelling fantasy novel that I have had on my TBR since it was first released. It's been on my Goodreads/library TBR. and so since I saw a copy for $1, I thought I might as well buy it. I am not sure if I will like this because it's supposed to be like kind of very weird, and I'm not sure if it's going to be my type of kind of very weird or like not my type of kind of very weird. This is an urban fantasy retelling of Vasilisa the Beautiful, and it takes place in some sort of like weird fantastical version of Brooklyn. So onto that book outlet order. The first two that I'm going to show you are books that I had out from the library for a really long time and then unfortunately had to return unread, and I was feeling grumpy about it, so I bought copies on Book Outlet. The first of these I am already reading, and that is Sorcerer to the Crown by Zen Cho. This is a fantasy of manners novel set in Regency England. I'm reading this for the Because Dragons readathon. It's hitting like 3 of the 5 challenges. I'm about halfway through and I should be done with it pretty soon. The second book that I purchased after having to return a library copy is one that was on my most anticipated books of 2018 list. This is Robots vs. Fairies, an anthology edited by Dominik, Parisien, and Navah Wolfe, who also edited the Starlit Wood anthology that I really liked. This is full of authors whose works I've read and admired, authors whose works I haven't read but have heard spoken highly of, and it is all about robots versus fairies, so I'm expecting a lot of genre mashup, and I love me some genre mashup. I think this came out like in January, and I've been wanting to read it ever since. The next book I've got is The Scandalous Sisterhood of Prickwillow Place by Julie Berry, which is a middle grade book, and it's a little bit of an outlier for me because it is neither science fiction nor fantasy. This is purely a historical middle grade, but I think it's absolutely going to be my cup of tea. It sounds totally delightful. I saw Leah Cooper talk about this on her channel, and I said, oh my gosh, this sounds like a book for me. This is apparently about a finishing school where the headmistress topples over and dies from a poisoning, and instead of reporting it, the students decide that they are going to conceal the fact that this murder happened so that they can continue on at the finishing school by themselves without a headmistress, because that sounds so much better than being sent home and then sent off to wherever their families are going to send them next. This sounds totally amazing, and I need it. Someday I feel like I'm just going to like binge read a bunch of the wonderful looking middle grade I've acquired over the last year or so. I have so much amazing looking middle grade that I'm so looking forward to reading, and I have no idea when I'm going to get to reading most of it. On to some more series. I picked up both Borderline and Phantom Pains by Mishell Baker. These are the first and second books in the Arcadia Project series, which is an urban fantasy series that I've heard incredibly high praise for. I know these are about a woman with both a physical disability and a mental illness who becomes involved in something called the Arcadia Project, which involves dealings with the Fae. And then all of the rest of these books are from 2 series, 3 from one series, 4 from another. And these are both series that I haven't started reading yet, but I own the first books in them, and I think they are series that I'm going to want to read in their entirety. So when I had the opportunity to fill up the rest of my cart to that $35 mark by just buying the rest of these series, I did it. So the next ones here are 3 books in the Queen's Thief series by Meghan Whalen Turner. The King of Atolia, which is book 3, A Conspiracy of Kings, which is book 4, and Thick as Thieves, which is the recently released, or relatively recently released, it's been a while now, book 5. I read the first book, The Thief, when I was a kid. I know I liked it. I've been meaning to reread that book, which I own another copy of, and get into the rest of the series. This has been a slowly released series over a period of many, many years, and it is deeply beloved by fantasy fans everywhere. I already own the first 2 books, and so now I have the full series. And then the last books I have here are 4 books in the Glamourist History series by Mary Robinette Kowal. I already own the first book, Shades of Milk and Honey. This is the rest of the series. This is a Fantasy of Manners series that I feel like I really want to read because this is sort of you know, one of those series that a lot of people have at least tried, that's pretty well-known fantasy of manners, more Regency fantasy of manners, and this is a subgenre that I have a lot of interest in and I would like to be well-read in, and this is one of the series that I would like to read to become well-read in this subgenre. So Shades of Milk and Honey I already have, but not in a matching edition to these. I have it in the older cover, but the rest of these are Glamour in Glass, the second book. The third book is Without a Summer. The fourth is Valor and Vanity. And then the fifth is Of Noble Family, which I've seen this in bookstores. I think I knew it was chunky like this, but it's having it in my hand, in my possession, it is chunkier than I was expecting it to be. This is over 550 pages. The others are not that long. Anyhow, now I own the complete Queen's Thief series up till this point. I don't know if there are going to be future books in that series or not. And all of the Glamourist Histories series, which is, as far as I know, a complete series. So that's it. That's my June book haul. Let me know if you've read any of these, or if you're planning to. Let me know what you think. Anyhow, I hope you're having a nice day. That is all. Bye for now.